I am going to do some sublimation projects today, and we're going to do different types of sublimation. One item is going to be a coaster, and I'm using the Cricut square coasters, a double-sided ornament. All right, and then this is new to the family. We're going to use this sublimation-ready plywood. Now, I have not used this before, so I'm excited about using it. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get to it. Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa S of By Vanessa S, and welcome to my channel. And if you've been here before, welcome back to my channel. For this project, you will need a sublimation-ready item, whether it's a coaster or an ornament or a gift tag. You will also need some type of a heat press. I'm going to use my Cricut heat press, and you'll need Canva so that you can create your design. So let's go on over to Canva to create the designs for these sublimation ready items. Okay, so we are now in Canva. I have just a regular Instagram page showing this is what I'm going to work in. As you can see, I have all of the shapes. Now the shape for the plywood gift tag, because that's what I'm going to create. I just created this using the lines, the elements in the element section, the lines, and I just recreated the shape of the gift tag. For the coasters, I have a square shape, and then again, for the ornament, I have a circle. Okay, so I'm going to start with the gift tag with the odd shape. Now, I find that the best way when dealing with odd shapes and sublimation, the best thing to do is to create a scene and then add the sublimation shape to it. So you're creating the scene, not creating the scene on the shape, but you're creating the scene so that the shape can fit onto it. And so for this, because it's a gift tag, I want something simple like Merry Christmas or Happy Holiday, something like that. So I'm going to start with the elements panel and then just add something like Christmas and just build from there. So I see some elements that are cute, like this little reindeer. So I'm going to bring this little reindeer over because this is sublimation, and because the sublimation is cover. Okay, so I'm going to bring this little reindeer over. The one thing about this odd shape is it looks like it would be best if I were to turn it long ways. And remember, it's double-sided. So whatever we do, it needs to be for both sides. So on one side, we can have a nice little scene, and on the other side, it could say something like Merry Christmas. But I do like this little reindeer here. And I'm going to add some other little elements. Maybe I like the Merry Christmas that I see here, so I'm going to take this. Now, mind you, I'm building this scene in real time. I did not do this before. This is being done in real time. So this is pretty. It's a watercolor, so let me find something. I like that. I really do like that. So how about I take, instead of using that, I'll take this tree. These trees, I'll put the reindeer here. Bring it to the front. And the layers, okay, because I want it to be out front. I like what I'm seeing so far. Okay, that's cute. And maybe add something else. Ah, I like this North Pole. Again, just building a nice little scene. Okay. And since we have a North Pole, maybe we should have some polar bear and some other animals and maybe Frosty. We don't want to make it too crowded, but I do think something else. All right, so now we have all of our little animals and our scene. I'll create the scene this way. I think that's really cute. So now that I have the scene set, I have all the animals the way I want them. What do I do now? I'm going to take them and group them. Move this up. Take them and group them. Okay. Now, because they're grouped, I can size them however I want. Then I'm going to take my template tag that I've created, and I'm going to fit it within the template tag, like so. Okay, there. Now, okay, so that fits perfectly in there. So that's what it would look like in the template tag. But now that we have this part here, this last part here, I don't want it to be just blank. So what I'm going to do is add color, okay? Just add color. So I'm going to add color to the tag itself. So to add color to this tag, you would need to add a square shape, okay? Okay, and I want it to be red. I want the color to be red. I like that red. And so we're going to turn the shape white so that we're able to see it. And then we're going to add the shape over it. Remember, layer it, so you want to bring it, either bring the color to the back, send the color to the back, or either bring the tag to the front. Because what you're doing is you're filling the space of the shape with a color. So when you add your design, like so, now what you have is you have your design and then the color is consistent around the shape, and that's what you want. Now, this would be a good place to add if you wanted to add something, you know, just something, some other element. You would add the elements here in this blank space here, but you don't have to. It's just an idea. Okay, so that's one side of your design. That's just one. Now for the second side of your design, you can do the same thing. Add your Merry Christmas here. You can make it as large as you want. So this is what your scene would be for your gift tag. Okay, so next we have the circle. And this would be for the ornament. And you would do this roughly the same exact way. The only difference is the ornament has, remember, the ornament has this little top up here. And because it has that little top, you would do the exact same thing. So create your scene. Let's see, for this one, let's do something like a photo. Let's use a photo for this one. Now, to me, the coasters are the easiest to do because they're square, they have a definitive shape, you can use the whole space, and there's a lot that you can do. So you can create a scene for this, or if you're not wanting to create a scene, you can just use photos and elements as is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and design these coasters, and then I'll come back and show you what I did. Okay, so as you can see, I have created 4 scenes for the coasters. So I've taken a background. See, this is the background. And I made it a little bit more transparent. These are the other elements that I used, that I added, okay? So now, when you put the elements back to the scene, this is what you have to create the scene. And this is just using all the different elements that Canva has. Now, we need to take it and print it on sublimation paper using sublimation ink, and then we're going to heat press it to sublimate it. There are a few steps that are recommended but not necessarily required to complete this project, but I find them very helpful, so I do them. One of them is to upload my designs from Canva into my Cricut Design Space. And the reason why I do that is because I am able to make sure that the sizing is precisely the way I want it. Now, in Canva, of course, I can add the size that I want, and I can create the size. The design is in the size that I want. But when I upload it as a print then cut project in Cricut Design Space, I'm able to make just those little dynamic changes if needed, and to just make sure that it's fitting the way that it's fitting. And another thing is I can always finish it off if I want to by using a lot of the elements that Cricut also offers. As I, did here with this Merry Christmas, I added the wreath around it. Okay, and so one of the things I do want to do, besides just printing it and then cutting it, because again, if I'm cutting it in Cricut Design Space, when I cut it, it's a precise cut. So that's another reason why I use it. But remember, this ornament has this top to it, and it needs something there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my design for this ornament, which is this one. It's already sized to the ornament, but I still need that little piece at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a shape. Now, I've measured this piece up here, this top piece up here. I've measured it, and it is 1 inch by 0.75 inches. So I'm just going to take this shape right here. I'm going to give it a different color. I'm going to give it a red. Now, of course, this is going to print, so I want the color to be the same color as the color that's in the design already. How do you find that? Well, if you go back to Canva, I'm going to go over here to the design itself. You go back to Canva, you can find the precise color of red by clicking on the red, going to the red here in the panel, clicking on it. It's going to take you to the color panel, and you click on the color panel and notice that it's giving you a hex code. The hex code is FF0000. So that is the precise color. That is the nomenclature for this color that's in this design. So I'm going to use that to create the same color in my design for Cricut Design Space. And how do you do that? Well, you go up to the color panel and you click on Advanced. And then down here in the hex code, you add the hex code FF for this one, 0000. And that is the same precise color red that's already in the design. So what I'm going to do now is just take it, turn it around, because I want it to be just an asset. It's just a color, just an asset, just to give this design the lift that it needs. So the dimensions are 1 inch. It needs to be 1 inch by 0.75. Okay, and that's what's needed. So I'm going to take it, put it back here. And of course, I'm going to take it and put it to the back. I want to send it to the back so that it's behind. Now, again, because we're sublimating, it's okay for it to be a little bit taller or a little bit wider, because the only thing that's going to sublimate is the color and the actual ornament. So you can't, it's not going to give you more color than the space that it has. So it's okay that it's a little bit wider. I prefer that it's a little bit wider than it is shorter, because you can't re-sublimate this if it's not enough color. But if it's more color, then that's okay. Okay, so we're adding this to the design. Then we're going to group it. Now this is not a basic cut. This is a print then cut. Want to make sure that it is a print and cut. Definitely want to group it. And then we're going to attach it. Now, like I said, it makes so much more sense for me to add the designs here in Design Space, because once I have the actual dimensions, like I do now, I have the actual dimensions. Only thing I have to do now is print them and then sublimate them. Now, remember, the coasters, you only need one per coaster because it's 4 coasters. But if you're doing multiple tags like this gift tag, I have 6 of them. So I will need to have 6 of these, 6 each of these. And the best way to do that is just duplicate them so that you'll have the same thing. Duplicate them 6 times or 5 times. You're going to duplicate it to make it 6. And then the same here, I have more of these. I have about 18 of these. So I'll need 18 each. And so when it prints, it's going to print the amount that I need for the front and the back, because both of these are front and back. And then the coasters are just front. Now let's make some magic happen. Okay, so I have all of my sublimation blanks here. This is the plywood one. Be careful when you are preparing your sublimation blanks, because sometimes they have a film coating on it and it may not even tell you that the coating is there, but it's there and it needs to be removed. For this project, this part of the project, the sublimation process, you're going to need sublimation paper. Hopefully by now you have already printed. This is the paper that I use. All of the supplies and materials that I have used for this project will be in the description box and the links to them. Okay, so I like this sublimation paper because the colors are always vibrant. It doesn't burn easily, and so it makes it easy for sublimation projects. You will also need a high heat transfer type tape, and this is the kind I use. Again, it comes with 10 rolls. And then you're going to need a heat press. I have my little gloves here, my heat gloves, because after the sublimation at 400 degrees, it's going to be hot. I also have these little pickup type mitten silicone gloves that I find very helpful as well. Let's look at the different ways to actually place my sublimated prints. These are the prints. Onto my blanks. Let's start with this one, the odd shaped one. Now you can do this 2 ways. One is you can totally wrap the blank with the tape, or you can just tape it enough to hold it down. It just depends. Now remember, when I created the design for this one, I wanted the design to go horizontally this way. And remember, I stated that I wanted the extra color here to fill up this area there. Now, once you place the actual design onto the blank like so, you'll see that's exactly how it's going to come out. Okay, so I am going to do one side at a time because I don't want it to be messy. So I'm going to heat press one side, and then I'm going to turn it over once it cools, put the design on the other side and heat press it. I would rather do it that way than to try to do them all at this, both sides at the same time. Now this one, this coaster, remember one of the designs? The only thing I have to do with the coaster is place the design on the top of it. It's only one-sided, and tape it down. And I just want it to stay in place. That's the whole point, just to stay in place, which is the reason why you don't have to wrap it. Now remember with the ornament, this is important because remember there's this top part here and this top part here. And so I'm just going to line it up that way so that the top parts on either side. When I secure this one though, I want to secure it differently because of the fact that there is this top part there. So I'm just going to take this, put it around like that, because I just want it to stay secure. I don't want it to move. The coasters are all taped up. I'm going to press everything in batches with their same identity. So all of the coasters are going to press together. I'm going to press all of the ornaments together and then all of the gift tags together. The coasters are set for 400 Fahrenheit degrees for 40 seconds. Look at the vibrancy in the color. It's just beautiful. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Ring the bell so you'll be notified of future videos, and of course subscribe and share, because sharing is caring. But more so today, please subscribe.